It's me again. What am I doing? I went camping on the weekend and I picked up something cool, and I'm not sure if anybody wants to see this, but I'm sure there's someone out there who wants to see this. I went to when you go to a garage sale and think it's just like junk. 3 of them we went to were all pretty much people just selling off all their grandma. One person, her husband died. Another person, the brother died, and the other one was their mother. It's kind of sad though, because I mean, you got all these people who have all their. I was telling my wife, I said, it's kind of sad because this is like stuff that they loved and cherished and had all their life, and then just somebody's just selling off because they don't want it anymore. A lot of it's junk, but I mean, it's just. But this I didn't expect. I'll put the camera on. I'll show you. This here, it's in the bag because I want to get it all crummy. All right, let's see now. In the plastic bag is cast iron frying pans. Why I put them in the bag? Because I don't want to get the patina all over my wife's car. I asked the lady, I said, well, how much are you asking for them? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. She's like, oh, let me call my friend and I'll ask how much it is. So I mean, I'm expecting like 50, 70 bucks, some ridiculous amount. And she says, $15 for the lot. I was like, start the car. So I started the car, and that's what I got. It wasn't really a start the car moment, but you know what? Now I gotta find my wire brush. Where's the wire brush? I just want to see who makes them. Like this, I'm guessing is a no-name job, and it's a number 3. But it looks like a. Let me see. Let me get all the crud out of here first. I know when they say there's a triangle here, they're what's known as BSR pans. Birmingham Stove and Range, I think it is called. It just doesn't look like it has any name on it. So I don't know. I think I'm going to skip ripping that off our wire brush. Clearly they haven't been used in a while. This on the side here. This one. Oh. Someone's texting me. This one's a number 5. So I'm going to peel off this. Well, let me get a wire brush grinder. Oh, put it over here. I'll use air tools. Yeah. Hold on a second. Alright folks, this could get noisy. So there's a number in there. There's a number 5 on here, and there's number 5 here. Nope, no 5 in the handle. So this is, well, we know they're at least 40 or 50 years old because when they put before they put made in Taiwan and made in Japan, made in America was actually required in the 70s. So no name pans. See, this could be also, it's got a triangle under the handle here. It's usually a BSR pan. This one I know is old because you don't see very many Wagners that are flat like this. I'm just going to show you here. Wagner number 8. No Sydney number on there either. How do I know it's an old Wagner? What? Let's stop this for a second. So what I was saying before my compressor went off, how do I know this is an older Wagner? Because all the newer ones have rounder edges, and they usually say Sydney, Ohio, and they just start changing the label. And most of the older pans all had a flat bottom or had a flat bottom with a heat ring. Some of the old WAPAK, W-A-P-A-K, the really old ones with the Indian head on them were flat. And they usually don't, a lot of them, the newer ones didn't have these things. The newer Wagners. I have a couple old Wagners and they all say Sydney, Ohio. And this is a damn nice one. It's pretty, see, it's not warped at all. Now I gotta, this is a nice chicken fryer, see, it's thicker. Just gonna take a little bit off here, show you. Number 8 pan, you can see the number 8 on there. And let's see if we can find a maker on here. Maker. Now, as I stated before, this is a Wagner. See, if you can see that. This is the newer labels. Which, if I get this out of the way, you can see that there. And there's numbers in the bottom here. You can see the numbers in there. These are, see, newer pans, round, just a lip. This is just the regular old Wagner logo. Actually, you can see it better if I go like this without busting it, see? That's just an old Wagner logo. Why do I know this? Because I know tons of useless information about frying pans. Also, you see the lip here? If you look at that one, and you look at this one, see the lip on this one right here? This, I think, is a BSR pan. Because BSR made pans for a bunch of them. See the same, there was also a triangle on here. But a lot of the older ones, okay, doesn't have that triangle on the handle. A lot of times you can just grab the pan and assume it was a BSR pan. Like this one's probably not. This was probably made by Wagner themselves. Next one, I don't have a handle hinge here. If my compressor goes on, I'll stop and I'll do it again. Fast. This is a number 9. You can tell it's a little bigger. Now, should I guess it's Wagner? Let me spare you this part. Hello folks, it's me again. Well anyway, this one, there is no writing on the wall. It's a number 9. I'm guessing it's an old, it's probably still 80 years old. They made a lot of these no-name ones because there was tons of companies making them. And one of the things I should mention is, how do you clean cast iron? Well, first of all, don't throw it in the fire. When you throw it in the fire, see how this thing, if I hit it, doesn't wobble. When you throw it in the fire, if you don't cool it down properly, you will warp it. When I usually take cast iron, put them on a bench or a table, and if it goes like this, has a warp in the middle, you don't buy it. They're warped. This one's pretty damn good. And let's check the other one here. This one, but see this one's warped. It's got a bow in the bottom, so it shouldn't do that. This one is nice and flat, it doesn't move. These ones never really warp. Well, see, that's pretty much fine. This one is fine also. But how do you clean them? A lot of people, there's a ton of videos on how to clean them. But I tell people, you don't need a die grinder. It would make life easier. You basically, since all of this stuff on here is, what do you call it? Should be organic matter. Basically, you should dip it in oven cleaner, because basically it's sodium hydroxide. Spray with oven cleaner, clean it off. When you use this, one of these, that will help, because on this one, this stuff is so thick that this die grinder doesn't even work on this part. I had to scrape it off. And when you get these old cast iron pans, which everybody's like, oh, they're the greatest things in the world. People will tell you, oh, don't scrape the, don't clean off the, what's it called? The seasoning. Well, you know what? If you get a frying pan from somebody you don't know where the hell it came from, scrape all the seasoning off, clean it. Because I don't know if you've been cooking eggs or meth in here. And you got the pour spouts on the side. But this one, very well, see, since it's got the little spouts, this one's got a little spouty on it. This one is a Wagner ware chicken fryer. So, see, it's a newer one. Doesn't have the spout pour things on it. These ones are definitely older ones. I'm guessing these are at least, what? It's what, 2020? I'm guessing these are, they could be anywhere from, let's see, I'll just make a random, at least, what, 1920s? Either 20s or 40s. See, I would say this one, I don't know. This one, these are easily over 60 years old. There's no doubt about that. This one is at least, what, this considered a logo? 60 years old. This one, the way it's made, I would say it's at least 80 to 100 years old, just because of the way the back is. I'm not an expert at these aging. You can't really age these things. You can only really guess. But yeah, back to cleaning them. Spray them with a, what do you call it, oven cleaner, or buy some sodium hydroxide, dip it in it. You can also wire brush, wire wheel it. What else? Do not use paint stripper. Don't use any caustic chemicals. You can, what else? There's some other, because the problem is, even if they're rusty, scrape the rust off and re-season it. Because people are like, oh, my frying pan's all rusty. Rust don't mean anything. Clean the rust off, throw it back in service. Also, seasoning the pans. Here's the thing. People always like, oh, I rub olive oil on my frying pans and I season with that. Don't use olive oil. Olive oil, first of all, after a couple of months goes rancid and smells like shit. Use pig fat. Buy a nice big juicy piece of pork fat. Cut it off. Put the pork fat in the oven, make some chicharrones, or take the thing and just rub it all over it and bake it in the oven at like 300 degrees. Cover it for an hour or two, let it cool down, take it out, do it again, and just do it multiple times. And don't be cooking tomatoes in them right away. Cook a lot of greasy stuff. You can bake with these things, put a little thing in there, put a steak in the oven. I tell people you can use them. If you're not sure how to cook eggs and stuff on these things in your stove, use them for baking pans. You can bake bread in them. You can braise steaks in them. You can broil steaks in them. As long as you don't take this hot pan that's 300 degrees and throw it in ice cold water, it shouldn't be a problem. But I love cast iron. It's old, awesome, and oh, and these things, the chicken fryers, see how deep these are? You know what these are good for? People buy all these deep fryers, they think they need like 6 inches of grease. You put 1 inch of oil in here, drop chicken in there, and you can make chicken in it. You do not need 50 gallons of oil. And do not use canola oil. Canola sucks. I'm going to die use canola oil. It's a great way to drop it quicker. And look at that. I like these little 7, number 3, a 3, a 5, an 8, a unnumbered one. Wait, I didn't even check that one. What number is that one? Was it an 8? Yeah, it was an 8 and a 9. 2 8s, a 9. But $15. I'll what do you call it? Part them out and sell them off to some people. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and Maybe I'll do a whole channel on cast iron one of these days. Since I love cast iron anything. I like cast iron tools. I like cast iron, you name it. Even old clamps. Where even this thing here, look, this right here, it's all cast iron. So yeah, toodles. Don't forget to like and subscribe.